Obviously, Garrett football known for winning tradition last year. Hopefully, just a blip on the radar, 4-6. How did these guys use that as motivation going forward for 2014?
Well, the good news is most of them are back. I have a lot of starters back from last year, and we weren't impressed at all with our own record. I don't think expectations were very high for us, and so still we are by midseason. We were exceeding probably most people's expectations, but let a couple of close games slip by us. Got better as the year went on, but sometimes your best isn't good enough, and that was our case last year. So having most of those guys back, especially in the offensive, defensive line and running back areas, makes for a good solid core to return this year.
Noah Follett, obviously a quality quarterback that graduated for you guys. Who are some of the guys that are battling for the starting quarterback position, and where are you guys at as far as that position goes heading forward?
The position right now is, it's becoming a one-man race. Sophomore Tanner Burns has really had most of the reps here this week. July we spread it out a little bit more, but we've gotten to August here, and he's kind of taken the role over for the most part. So it's probably his position right now. I haven't told him that yet, but I'm sure he's figured it out.
When you take a look at this defense, Bo Davis, 103 tackles last year, 3 interceptions. What does a guy like that at the linebacker position mean for you guys as terms of leadership for this defensive unit?
Oh, he's tremendous. I mean, he's a leader of leaders. He is, valedictorian of his class, all-state junior linebacker last year, tremendous wrestler, great kid, kind of kid that'll have perfect summer attendance at all our workouts. He does everything right in life, and a great role model for the other young men of the high school and definitely for his team.
Tell me about this offensive line, because like I was saying off camera, on paper it looks like one of the biggest strengths of this team.
It is. From the offensive and defensive side, it's a great place to start. It's the place to start, really, for everybody, and I think every level of football. Your linemen are where it begins, and so having those guys back a year better even than they were, even a year healthier than they were a year ago, makes a big difference. From the offensive side, second only maybe to having your quarterback back. It makes everything work around you when the offensive line is gelled.
Changing conferences, what does that mean for Garrett?
Well, it kind of brings us more home, it feels like. The ACAC, I've only had a couple of years in it. Garrett had 8, I believe it was, and it was an awesome time for me and for the community, I believe. A lot of great memories. But moving back home, it feels, back to the north, the Fort Wayne collection of communities. It's our home. It's our conference home now. For my generation, it kind of feels like where we always had been. When I was in high school, that was our conference. And so I think for the kids right now, they don't know so much where that begins. They don't really know much about the NECC. They know some of the schools because in most sports, those are still teams that have been part of our non-conference schedule. But in football especially, it's going to be very new.
Does that present you a fun or interesting challenge as a coach, knowing that, you game plan against all these ACAC teams last year, but now there are new schemes, new tendencies, new teams, new stadiums, all that's new, essentially?
Challenge, yes. It will be a fun challenge. It's going to be a lot of work. Getting to know what the strengths and weaknesses are of all the teams on our schedule, what they're about. There's a lot of good football that has been played, and we're looking forward to being a part of that. But for me personally, as a coach, it's my 3rd conference in 4 years, and so I feel like we've played everybody now. I still feel like I know the NHC schools better than anything because that's where I spent a lot of time, and just getting used to the ACAC schools, figuring out what they're about, was a couple years of work, but it's going to be a good time. We're all looking forward to it.
Final question, what's impressed you about this team early in camp, and also what are the goals for Garrett 2014?
What's impressed me has been their willingness to work every day. And I think a lot of coaches are going to say that, but getting accustomed to how we do things is important now. It's my 3rd year. I have a coaching staff I feel like where we want them. The kids, the seniors especially. There's just an expectation now that doesn't need to be explained any longer. So that's made everything in the summer and through August now much smoother. and it makes the young kids fall in line quicker too. And third year for me and for this group of coaches now, we're looking forward to a season with high expectations. We'll be disappointed if we don't have a good deal of success, but it's hard to say what that is. Not knowing what's in front of us, staying healthy and all those other factors that make for a good season are all things that are out of our control.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it. Yeah.